Welcome to Educators with Oil. No, sorry about that. Welcome to Empowered Educators with Ronnette Branham podcast. Thank you for joining me today. Where is this coming from? Here. Oh my goodness. I hear it coming from somewhere. Is it here? 1 second. I hear this. Someplace is live. Oh, it's right there. Can I mute that? All right. Okay. Again, welcome to Empowered Educators with Ronnette Branham. I'm your hostess, and I'm excited to be here today. So I think I just need to close this because it's going to be a distraction. Okay, so I'm honored to have you here with me. Last week we had an awesome guest. We actually had an awesome guest, and it's going to be a distraction. And Mr. Dalton Price, he came in. Sorry about that. I had to get my stuff in order. He came in and he was talking to us about being ready for a lockdown, what we need to do, and there were things that I was not ready for. So and he gave me some tips and instruction, and now with that training, that 45 minutes to an hour training, I am just excited about what I know now, or what I could have known it prior. I could have known it prior, but I'm not sure if I knew it. And now I am relearning it. Did I forget about it? Some things, like when he said check the hallway, for some reason that seems like I should have known that. That seems like that was something that I knew, because I had in my head that if a child was in the hallway, they would be in somebody would pull them in their classroom. So who has to do that except for a teacher who checked in the hallway? So that is something that I forgot about. And it's that was a very, very, very important piece that I forgot about. And that's not something we want to forget about. We want to um, practice. So it's so funny because a few days ago, I had a dream that I was at work and we had a lockdown. I took my time. The kids went where they needed to go. I took my time, got my keys out. They happened to be in my pocket. That just was what it was. And I took my time and looked in the hallway. There was nobody in the hallway. And then I locked the door and I pulled the shade. I did everything I was supposed to do. But because it's been on my mind now, and it's like I rehashed it and he retaught me, retrained me. Now I understand what it is I need to do, and there shouldn't be any problems with me, because that is something we don't want to lose any kids. We don't want to lose any children. We want to practice now so we make the mistakes now. And in the instance of a real lockdown, we'll be prepared and know what to do. So that was just awesome for me to have, that reiteration and that live training, that training with the actual safety director. I don't know that I could have gotten any better training than from him, from Dalton. And he gave me what I needed just that fast and that quick. So I'm excited even about that. That was something I hope everybody got something out of. So today we're going to talk about being ready, our back to school checklist. We have checklists for everything. We have checklists for when we want to go somewhere, when we want to do something. But we want to go back to school, and some things we could be prepared for. Some things you can wait till you get to school to do, but there are other things that you might want to know, you might want to go through. So, for instance, we want to talk about reviewing the curriculum and the standards. You know, I know this is our time off, but we don't want to walk into a new school year not knowing the curriculum. Just say we have a new curriculum coming, we have new things, and we don't understand what they are and how they work and how they flow. We need to practice it. You know, go through it. You don't have to do a lot of research in it, but just go, go through the curriculum, see what the program is about, what it's like. Even if you've done something over and over, just like with that training we had last week on with Mr. Price, just like with that training, there were things that we forgot. So just go a review, like the first month's lesson and whatever it is you're going to teach. That's something that I think we can do. And plan out for your first week. That also, because I know with me, I always know in my head what I'm going to do. Sometimes I plan and sometimes I don't. But then I get there and then it's like there's a lot of white space in the day, because if I were in charge, I would have the students come back early, have that early, whatever, early dismissal, some kind of early dismissal or late arrival or something, because I don't know about you, but in my classes, I don't believe that the students are prepared to come for a full day, because they're falling asleep. They can barely keep their eyes open. And so we just have to be prepared to fill that space up, because you can go over a rule or two, but you can't do all day. They're not going to listen. After a while, they're going to tune out. So, you're going to go over your procedures, but that's not going to take up a whole day. So it's best to plan some kind of lesson, some kind of focus on your instruction, your routine, essential content that they may need. For me, I really like reviewing math and reviewing phonics. I teach second grade, reviewing some of these sounds and see what they understand and what they know, what words they know. I like to do that. Just get right into it. That's just me, because I don't believe in going to school and you don't learn. So that's just something. Then and also when we're reviewing those standards, I found also to go into, I want to talk about that a little later, but because it's right here. If they have any professional development workshops in the summer, I admonish you to attend those, because a lot of things change over the summer and we get back into school, and then it's like, did we prepare? Were we ready? Did we prepare? Were we ready? Because some people are knowing things that are happening. I went in last year totally blind. And I remember a few years ago, we had the math that came out, it was Eureka Math. I went through the workshops in the training in the summertime. So when I got to school, I was ready and I understood it. And I was able to help other people because I got it. And we had, last year they had training on this dual language, which I didn't know. I didn't know I was going to be a dual language. So I was out of the loop. I didn't understand what was happening. I didn't understand the purpose. I didn't understand how it was supposed to flow, any of that. So I admonish you to go. I went to a training last week. I'm going to one tomorrow. One was for ELA, which has New Jersey has new standards. And how would you know what they are if you don't attend the workshops? So going to the workshops that they offer in the summer, I think that's a great idea. If you have time, if it's a day off, I think it's a great idea. I went. And so I learned some new writing standards that they have that they didn't have. Things that I taught because of the way I had in teaching my students. Because of that, like my students, we were going over writing, right? Going over writing. And they didn't write a complete sentence. They wrote, I asked them what that said, and they would give me a whole sentence. I went to the store with my mom and my dad, right? They would be, I go store. And I'm like, well, you wrote 3 words, but you have you just said a whole lot more. So the writing helps to make sure they put down every word on the paper. So that's a new standard for second grade. And that's, I would not know that except I went to the workshop. You understand? So go to the workshops. You don't have to go to workshops if you would, but I think that's a great thing to do over the summer. It's probably the end of the time now. Who knows if you have any more? I have one tomorrow. And that's for the dual language. I don't know what's happening with that, but I'm going to go so I can be prepared of something new, or stay abreast of the new standards and curriculum or whatever it is we're going to do. And also, you can also, to prepare, there's some things you check off. You check off, did I familiarize myself with the standards? You don't have to go through the whole book. Familiarize yourself, right? Familiarize yourself or plan just an overall overview of your plan for the first week of school. Like I said, there's a lot of white space. We have good plans, and then we're like, this took 10 minutes. This took, I pass out a book and everybody writes their name. That took 5 minutes. And I'm thinking, we're going to spend 30 minutes there, right there. No, it's going to have a lot of white space. I promise you. It's not going to look like you think. And so just preparing outline for the quarter, for the marking period. That's not even a bad idea. Things that you want to plan, that you want to have done. Also, I say, now me, I'm not going back to school until the day we're supposed to go back to school. I usually go back a little early to unpack and straighten out my classroom. This year, I'm not doing that. But the time that you do have allotted, you arrange your desks. Think about before you get there how you want to arrange your desk. Your seating. How do you want your seating? Do you have a small group area? Do you have a large group area? How are your desks? Are they going to be in groups? Are they going to be individually facing the front? Are they going to be in a U shape? And how many students you have? Think about that. It was so difficult for me last year. I started looking up things, seeing how am I going to organize my desk, and I kept changing them. So I ended up the last week with sets like two rows with 4 in each row, 2 separate rows, like 2 columns, 2 rows, whatever. It don't even sound like it was, but I liked it better. Everybody's facing the front, but we had groups of 4. But the groups of 4 were next to each other as opposed to facing each other. Then I had 2 groups in the back, 2 or 3 groups in the back where they were 4 facing each other. Because those were empty seats. So we used those for science. So when we got together in our groups in science, we got together at those tables, and it worked for us. Next year, this school year is not going to happen because we're going to have more students. But just think about how you want to arrange your desk and go in if you have that time. We want to make our classroom inviting for the students on the first day. I know we may not have that time. Do little by little, make it so it appears to be ready, even though there's more things that you have to do, but make it ready enough that it's appealing to the students. And decorating your bulletin board. Maybe have some welcome signs, on your bulletin board. Have a space, because I'm going to go in. That's another thing I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to go in and send my parents a class list of supply lists. So they're going to come in with these bags of things. So what you want to do is have a place where you're going to store that stuff, because they're going to come in with 2 boxes of tissue each. They're going to come in with hand sanitizer enough for the class, and you have to have a place to store it. What are you going to do with it? Also, you want to make sure, this is a big thing. This is a big thing for me. May not be, everybody has technology now. So I don't know a classroom who doesn't. I know there's other people in rural areas. I don't even know that this is true. I haven't been. I'm just in my head thinking like, okay, when we go to the rural area, they don't have much, but that's not even true, right? So just think about your technology. You're going to have to project things. You're going to have things being able to go up on a screen or something. Make sure your technology is working. Make sure if you have an HDMI cord, that HDMI cord is working and it is compatible with your computer, and you have that ready to go. Because even during a downtime, when you have to connect it, make sure prior to that you already have it ready. You may have to take time to connect it because you're doing something different. But make sure that it is in working condition prior to the first day of school, because you get there and you want to show a little SEL video or a welcome back video or something. We have these creative teachers now, and you want to show and project something, and all you have is your little computer and you need to project it. You have to make sure that technology is ready. Make sure your cords are there. Make sure your remote control is there. Anything that you need in order to execute that plan. That is like probably number 2 on the list. Number 2 is make sure your technology is in working order. You have to take attendance. Make sure your technology is in working order. Make sure you can see your class list. That is something. Go over your roster. Man, there's this running joke, this running video where a couple of teachers, they do it. A few people did this video where the teacher has new students and they're taking attendance. I don't know if one is a substitute, whatever, but the students' names, they don't know, they don't understand, they don't know how to say it. One, just for instance, one student's name is Blake, and he's like, Balake. No, go through that student roster, make sure you can say the students' names. Make sure you understand what that says. If you don't, ask somebody. Google it. Put the name in Google, and it'll tell you what the name is. And if it doesn't say it right, let it know that it's Spanish. Whatever you have to do something like that. If you have IEPs, I don't know. I don't have access to see IEPs and 504 plans, but I'm pretty sure if I ask the right people, I can make sure that if there's something I need to know, because if it's an IEP, I absolutely need to know that. So going into school, checking to see if there's any IEPs in your classroom, any 504s, anything particular that you have to do. So that is something that I really admonish us to do, is to go over that so that you can plan for that differentiated instruction, even on those first days. Even on those first days, you may already know that you have ADHD in your class, and you may already know that you have severe ADHD in your class. How are you going to utilize that student? Because you can utilize that student to be a helper and things like that, to help you with the students' names, anything, passing out things, because it's hard for them to sit down. In high school, I don't know how that works in high school. I can't see any difference, because people are people. If I can't sit still for a long period of time, I can't sit still for a long period of time. Utilize that person. Utilize that. That is something we can actually do. Utilize those students for what it is they're good at. And also, don't forget to draft a welcome letter to your parents. I say send it on the first day, but at the same time, if you have something like class dojo, like we use in our district, there's other things you can use. You don't absolutely have to use class dojo, but you have to have some form of communication with your parents. Class dojo is great. I don't think you have to pay for it. I don't know. I just joined with our school. If we have to pay, I don't know. Seems free. I don't know if it is or not, but we use it in our district. And draft that welcome letter to the parents. At the same time, send the supply list to the parents in that. Let them know, attach that to the welcome letter. Let the parents know a little bit about yourself. Let them know who you are and how long you've been teaching, if you want to. Share what you want to share with the parents. And let them know when the back to school night is. Back to school night is within that first 2 weeks of school, always. So let them know when it is. They'll know this early dismissal that day. You come back to school and you meet with the principal, the different people in the school, and the class teacher. And let them also know that is not a time for individual parent-teacher conferences when you have all the parents in. There were times when I had maybe 15 parents in the classroom and people want to ask about their child. No, we're not doing that. I can talk to you on the side afterwards, or I can talk to you through Class Dojo, or I can call you, whatever. but let the parents know you welcome any question that as it relates to the whole class or any class procedure or homework or whatever it is that you have, any questions that you have that they have. So that's something. Make sure you have a way to communicate with the parents. Make sure you have a way. If you don't feel comfortable class dojo, well, I think that's great. And if you want to give a phone number, use Google Voice. You never have to give your phone number out. I have given my phone number out or called from my phone, and then the parents call me continually. Not like overly, but they do pick up the phone and call you because they have your number. I really don't mind it, but it's at the same time like, who is this number? Because I didn't save it. I wouldn't save it. I don't save it. But use class. I recommend Google Voice. Google Voice comes with your Google, with your Gmail account. Use that. Call your parents. They can call you because you can hear it. I set it up on my iPad. That phone rings and I talk just like that. So that is something that I suggest. That's just something that I think is a good idea. We use Google Voice and we use something else. Maybe it was Google Voice still. Maybe there's something else. I'm not sure. Make sure, like I said before prior, if there were any meetings that you could have gone to over the summer, this is kind of late because I go to school 2 weeks. A lot of people are already in school. If you go to probably a private school, they're probably maybe in school already. I don't know. In the South, they're in school. But if there's any workshops you can get into before school starts, I think that's a great idea because it's going to only help you for the school year. It's going to be something that you're going to need. And if you go when it's before time for school, you probably get paid for attending these. You might get paid for attending these workshops. At the same time, you're gonna learn something. Like it's gonna be a 3-hour workshop. This is how long it's gonna be, right? So think about that. 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Not gonna be longer than that, unless it's a full day. I don't know. I went to one. It was a 3-day workshop, and we did it. Then also, collaborate with your colleagues. That's something I'm saying this, and if my colleagues are watching, they're going to know I have not reached out and called them about anything. Somebody for the second graders, sent a text out. I can't even tell you what the text was about. I don't even remember, but it was a second grade teachers in this. But they'll tell you that I have not reached out to a partner. I'm going to have a partner. I have not reached out, but that is something. It should be a must. I am just not there yet. I'm not there yet. It's not. I will probably, maybe, but because I have to work side by side, intertwined with this other DLI teacher, dual language instruction teacher, that is something that I really suggest that I do, telling myself that. I really suggest that I do is to collaborate with this teacher, let her know what we're going to do the first week. We're going to do the first month because we need to know instead of waiting until we get to school and we don't have time because we're in meetings. And then we have to straighten up our classrooms. When do we have time for this? So that's something that I really need to do. I think I'm going to get on it, send a message out maybe tomorrow because we do have a meeting. Maybe she'll be there. That might work out if she's there because I'm really not trying to do extra. And I'm telling you, but that's something that we need to be doing for real. Like just collaborating with your partner teacher. If you have a partner teacher or your grade level, how are you going to do lesson plans? You may share. I might do math and you do literacy or whatever. Me and my partner, I'm English and she's Spanish. So how that works is we still doing our own. And then also go through your classroom setup, and the material. Make sure you have what you need. Because sometimes you may have books that you don't know you have or books that you need and you don't have enough. Make sure you have that stuff before the first day of school. You want to go through and check. You may not be using the material the first day, but when it's time to start using that material, you want to make sure you have what you need. Any manipulatives if you're in a lower grade, any books, make sure you have pencils and paper, all that extra stuff. Just go through, make a checklist, go through it and check off. When you get to school, check it off. I have that, I have this, I have that. Make sure you have your emergency procedures posted and make sure you go over them. That when you have it posted, you go over them still and make sure, okay, if this is where I go in case of a fire drill. This is what I do in case of a lockdown. This is what I do in case shelter in place. You have to go through that stuff because, like I said, last week we found out I was missing some things. I didn't know everything that I should have known. And as I keep on saying, as I look back, I probably knew that because some of the things that I say and do is like, I had to know that, but I just kept cutting it out till it was out of my procedure, out of my procedures. So make sure you have those posted and understood. Make sure you have welcome signs and a welcome sign at your door. And then when you go to greet your students wherever they are, they'll know who you are. Some people don't know who we are. They might not know that you are, Miss Branham, Miss Smith, or whoever. They may not know that. And then for your self preparation, I don't know if anybody had any questions. I know there are people there or any comments, something that you suggest that teachers not forget before they go to the first day of school, because there are things I don't know. I'm just going off of what I know to do and things that I say this is what I need to do before the first day of school. I'm pretty good at checking that stuff off. I'm pretty good at remembering what it is, but might be something that helps you always. I never go into the school year without doing such and such, So for self-preparation, review your teaching goals and objectives for the year. What are your plans? This is how you can't go into anything without a plan, without an objective, without a goal. My goal is to make sure I educate, I say it over and over and over, educate every student in my class. I have to reach every student in my class. So I have to learn learning styles. I have to learn patterns of things that happen when the student gets tired. What should I do? I have to have a plan for that. I have to have a plan for it's brain break time. This person during brain break, they like to go over here and sit and read. So you have to have that quiet space. Like I said a few months ago, I had to change my quiet space. I know where I'm going to put it because it wasn't even in a quiet space. It just was someplace because I needed to have it. And then when I changed my classroom around, now I'm like, oh, that's definitely not a good spot. But things you need to learn about your students, how to speak to your students. How will I when my student is acting this way and that way? How do I reach my students the best way? Do I collaborate with their parent? Is there something that I talk to their parent? A parent can help me with this child. But my thing is to educate the student, find out how they learn, and teach them that way. If they need small group and they don't know, they're not able to learn in a large group, or they're not able to grasp every concept in a large group, I know I have to grab them for a small group. So that's my goal, is to make sure my students are third grade ready. And if they are not, and I can't get there, then there's something wrong, and I have to figure out what that something is. And that I say that all the time. There's some things that are beyond our control. Some students need more than we are capable or able to give. So that's something that we have to find out. We learn about ourselves, somebody sent me a message. What we learn, about our students and how we could best help them. Also, another self-preparation. Organize your schedule. I wrote that down, and I'm acting like I just realized that. But no, organize your schedule. You're going back to work. We're going back to work. You can't stay out late anymore. You may be able to, but that means you're taking a nap somewhere. Organize your schedule so it takes me this long to get to school, that I get home this long to get home. How am I going to do my dinner? Am I going to prepare my dinner the night before? Like my granddaughter told me the other day to go back to my Blue Apron. So I'm going to order my Blue Apron for the first week of September so I could have my meals ready. You order for 3 meals a week. So I'll have at least 3 healthy meals a week. And no, this is how I'm going to cook. It takes about an hour to cook Blue Apron. Doesn't take long. Everything is fresh. You're eating healthy food. Plan your time out. Don't get to be like, as soon as you get home, you're tired. Oh man, I need to eat. What am I gonna do? Your plan is your schedule is off because you didn't prepare. So plan how you're gonna structure your year, your month, your quarter, your semester. How are you gonna plan it? On Mondays, do I do this? What Tuesdays? We all know Tuesdays I'm here. So Tuesdays at 6:00, don't schedule me for anything. Everybody knows that. Tuesdays I'm here at 6 p.m. every Tuesday. So this is what I'm doing. This is how it's going to be. So I know I don't schedule any meetings during that time. I don't schedule anything for when I get out of school. I used to pick my grandson up and then drop him off and then come straight here. I understood that. Now it's a little different. I don't know. They get out of school early now. He's bigger now. So then I'll have more time. Come home and do what I have to do. So maybe on Wednesdays you have church or some kind of group. Make sure you plan it out. You plan out your time. And I know I need to be in the bed by 9:30, 10 o'clock at the latest. I'm going to try that. I haven't done that yet. My bedtime, my alarm clock goes off at 9:30. I have not. I hit dismiss every single time. I have not made it to the bed by 10 o'clock yet. Yes, I'm trying to think of a time that I did, but I have not. Let me see. Make sure, before the first day of school, this is the biggest check, the biggest number one, everything. Get a good night's sleep. And I'm not talking about that first 2 days, even though you need it because you're going to be in meetings. But you can make it through. Before that too, actually, when you have those first workshop days, get a good night's sleep. Do it. Get a good night's rest before the first day. And especially the day before the night before the students come. Make sure you get enough rest, plenty of rest. Make sure you ate healthy. Start eating healthy now. If you been on a break for the summer, start eating healthy, get those nutrients in so your body will be in prime. Make sure you got some protein and some vegetables and some fruit, so your body is ready because we get lax in the summer. We get lax, start eating how we want to eat, but just go through that. Make sure you have nutrients in your body because you can you eat ice cream and then you're trying to go and teach the students, you're going to be tired. You're not going to be feeling your best. And it's going to show, it definitely will show. I'm trying to see, I don't want to rush. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I'm missing because I have some notes here. But let me see. I think I said it already. One of the most important is set up a way that you are going to communicate with the parents, especially for that first month because parents are going to be wanting to contact. Give them the times you have office hours if you can. Let them know. Contact me during on this Google Voice. Contact me on Class Dojo. I'll respond by this amount of time. Class Dojo is great because after a certain hour, it doesn't send you the message. You don't get the message for that person for that time. So they try to send you something at 11 o'clock at night. You're not going to get the message. It's set to go off for night hours. So that Class Dojo is something that I suggest. I don't know. I don't see any more questions. I don't see any comments or people, any tips that somebody else may have. Again, I say outline your first week. If you don't outline anything else, outline your first week. I say 2 weeks, but outline that so that you will have in place what you're going to do with your students. Because I have tried to wing it a few times. It didn't work. Then I ran into some teachers, they're running off. So can I have that? Can I have that? It doesn't work. So it's better to have a plan for yourself ready to go for that first week, that icebreakers, getting to know. I I have something even real fast. It's a game. It's a acting activity that I learned from an acting class. They were middle schoolers, and they did this thing where they acted out each part, different parts of their body, and it would just be like to loosen the students up and to get to know the students. Like you say, you have a happy face, right? Let me show me what a happy face looks like. Show me what a happy face and happy hands look like, right? Or happy hands and sad feet, happy hands, nervous hands, a nervous face, different things. And then the kids will do it and they'll laugh and they'll be more relaxed with you. So that is a great game activity that will loosen up the students, and it will fill up some space if you have that white space and you like, I did this, but now what? So again, I'm going to reiterate, any kind of icebreaker activities that you can do with the students during that first week, do it. That acting activity I got from a middle school acting class. It was like, show me a sad face, show me a sad hand, show me excited hands, nervous feet, do it all, nervous whole body. So things like that. We have one where we're you say there's a cake, put something in the middle of the rug, and you're angry with that cake. It's a chocolate cake, angry with the cake. Show the cake you're angry. You're happy with that cake. Cake, I'm so happy with you, and I show the cake how my body can represent happy and sad or whatever it is. So that, again, I don't want to keep on going on and on. I just want to say thank you for tuning in, and make sure you're ready. And the most important thing is take care of yourself so you could be the best you can, the most effective teacher you can going into the school year. Take care of yourself. That self-care is more important than anything. So again, thank you and have a great day.